this episode of Hot Facts with Robert Reese. This is another live episode reaction. For those of you who don't know, my name is Hot Facts with Robert Reese. I am the official news channel of the gig economy. If you want to know what's going on with the gig economy, please stay in tune and please be on the lookout for Hot Facts. You're gonna get all that news that you are looking for. On top of that, we have a series here that is called The Boardroom. Okay. It's titled The Boardroom. It's a way for you to actually get a little bit more I would say, in tune with the people that you watch. You get to see how they're doing as a channel content creator. You get to see the different things that they bring to the table and that which makes them successful. Go ahead and tune into that. But this today, people, for those of you who know that whenever there's certain live episodes that goes on, we actually do a live reaction. And right now, this is the live reaction to, I guess some people say it's controversial. Some people say they don't even know why the interview took place. I'm going to go ahead to give the insights on that and on why it took place, and then I'll go ahead and break down a few things. But before we do get started, okay, I want to go ahead and give a shout out to I Am Sorry. Okay, I want to give a shout out to there's Allison, Jace Ali, Glitch Dash. Also, want to give you guys a shout out for throwing in some support there, and those are super stickers and super chats. I am gonna go ahead and read some of the comments that were super chatted, and I'll explain why the super chats were not read, but they were acknowledged. I'm going to acknowledge them now as we go live during the reaction video. And so I'm going to go ahead and break down everything so you guys fully understand what was going on. All right. First and foremost, let's go ahead and get those thumbs up in there. People said, why First of all, why are you doing something with Eli? Everyone knows my opinion. Everyone knows my stance. I'll state them again in case you guys don't know, what my separation is and how it is. Let me go ahead and explain. I've said this to Eli. I've said it to a lot of people. In my opinion, the things that Eli wants to speak about the gig world when it comes to having your delivery bag, showing up on time, don't dirty app, all those things. I say I agree with, but that's all where we get down until where the information coming from Eli. I don't feel that is valid. I have said this. I have stated that many of times. That's my separation with Eli. Uh, Eli knows that, and throughout that, we had that interview. Okay. Now, I did a live the other day, and I was speaking about the separation that's going on in the gig world, and I broke it down in many different ways. And I called out Eli and I asked him to do an interview. I didn't hear anything from him. I was ignored in a way, but I did not take it that way. What I did was I went onto his own live and wrote in there, um, would you be interested in doing another interview? Because he said that, well, Hot Facts is much different than what I thought. He's finally understanding that I don't care about what anybody else says out there. I am the official news channel. I'm not, when people say, oh, you're part of this group, you're part of that group, I am not any of that. I'm the news channel. I get my information and I put it out. I'm part of Hot Facts in the News, and I have people that I associate with who I respect for what they do. But when it comes to doing this, this is Hot Facts. Okay. And this was another Hot Facts move. Now, from weeks ago, when the tension and the heat was very very hot with Hot Facts with Robert Reese and Eli, I was banned for a little bit, then I was unbanned and I was able to type in the chats. I was one to type in the chats because I was like, dang, I lost a moment to really ask these questions that people really want to get the answers to. So while I was unblocked, I was able to type in the chats, and I was asking certain questions about the gig world. And I was asking Eli, what is your solution? What are your plans? What do you have? Now, being live, he was not able to go ahead and do that because he was doing his walking with the purpose, and he's not able to do that. So every question I have asked him in his live, I was never able to get an answer for or an answer to. Now, many people said, why even bother, from the Pedros, the Hannibals, to everybody else in the gig world, including myself? Say, why even bother? He does not know what he is speaking about. And people sit up here like Torp was putting him up there saying that he was a pillar of the community. And people were saying, how is he a pillar? And these are coming from comments saying, how is he a pillar when he doesn't even know what's going on? All right. In order for me to satisfyingly address my own, what I did, the people out there who ask but they don't know how to ask the right way, the content creators that show hate and all these other things, they were not able to put and salvage something together when I almost lost it, to put it together so that we can all get the information that we need. And we all got the information that we need. Okay. Now we are going to break down. That's how that interview came. Okay. Now, Eli told me, well, if we would have Brian, DoorDash Sucks, DoorDash Gig Economy Police, and Gig Apps Exposed. He said, can Brian come on up? Without a doubt, no, done deal. Done deal. This is how Hot Facts operates. I accommodate myself to uh any request that the person who I'm going to interview, I completely submit myself to wherever they say, all right, bam, go, done deal. I make it that easy for everyone. I make it that easy. He wanted Brian to be up there. Now, a lot of you guys don't know that there is a past with Hot Facts and DoorDash Sucks and Brian. And I addressed that in the beginning of the actual interview. There was a time to where we spoke, and then there was a rift because we weren't seeing eye to eye. It all came back together during Glitchgate and how everything was coming out. We start seeing that there's a whole lot that we have in common that we speak about that we weren't even paying attention to. So I have always wanted to interview Brian also. So when Eli said, well, can we do it with Brian? Done deal. People were asking me hot facts. Well, if it was for Eli, how are you planning your questions? How are you able to do all that and get it? Well, I did exactly, and I showed you guys. Okay, that's how the interview happened. Okay, that's how the interview happened. Everything is not uh peachy clean with me and Eli, and all that. We understand what the differences are, and I was able to actually get more done yesterday than a lot of you guys know. And this is going to Torp, Jeff, Thomas Black, and Dad Dash. Now, on this sheet here, this was my whole show plan. So for everyone that said, I don't know why he's doing this or what was the purpose, there's 24 different columns here with topics and specific points. 24 separate that I went through. You guys don't know. You guys don't know what you're counting because you don't know. That's why you're watching. Okay? That's why you're watching. I went through 24 different topics and points that I have to go through. Mr. Flex, he was asking Dino, and Dino, you must be blind. He said, who's Reese's wife? Emilia? Is that Eli's wife? Those jokes are, it says Emilia Reese, you idiot. Come on now. You also said you're over there guessing what's going on and you have no idea because you're not watching. You're not watching because the news is breaking it down. Dino. Flex was asking Dino, are they still talking about me? Flex, no, because in the first beginning, right here, Torp and Flex were starting it off going into respect, okay, credibility, true and false about themselves. You were only involved in that part unless someone else brought you up. There's nothing else in here that had you as a focal point of what was going on. So let me just answer your question with that one right now. I'm giving you guys my actual chart and sheets. So can't nobody make up anything. All right. Now, Flex, you were here in the beginning. We spoke about you giving Johnny the $50, and you said, so what? Why are you saying that? And I explained that while you have this thing going on, you've adopted people from another community. They're saying that you are their really good friend. They've only known you for like 3 weeks or a month, and you've been using them with the Eli attack. You refused money from one person to go ahead and give you a super chat. You told them no, and they explained why they want to do it. And then again, you go and give $50 to that same person that you refused, and you made that gentleman cry on camera, which means that now there is now a further attachment to you that I don't think that you understood what was going on, and you're playing with fire right now. Don't play with people's emotions, Flex. That's why that was brought up during that. During the reaction of the video, I'm able to bring that up now because this is the reaction to fill in the blanks that you don't know. So that's why that was spoken about, because you're good. You're walking a fine line. Okay. You're walking a fine line. You had someone really break down and cry, and they called you their true friend and everything. And it's not like everybody else in the lounge, like that you gave money to the Roys and the Bobbies and everyone else, and you setting up the $170 plan to be on there that you did with Noah, that you did with Light. This is much different. All of them understand exactly what's going on. You have a pack. You guys are friends. You work together. You send each other stuff, and that's how it works. Now you just did that to someone else. Now that you have to feel and do the same thing for, it's not someone that you know. So what you did was you put yourself in a situation, Mr. Flex, to where you're gonna have to show exactly who you are, because no one should play on anyone's emotions. Now, now. There you go, right there. Flex, that's why you were there. You were there right there, and that's why Torp was there. Now, Torp, I'm getting into right now because when I was done with my live, Torp, I watched you and Jeff Thomas Black like immediately, like right after. It was you and Jeff Thomas Black. And before I saw the live, I was doing things, and Jeff Thomas Black, he asked me could I go up, and I was not able to because I was doing things. I'm glad that I did not go up there because I did not watch that live yet, and I'm glad I watched the live first because then I would have looked like some type of fool. Torp was asking. First they said it was a train wreck. It was non-explosive. It was all this. They were laughing and joking about it. I don't care about your opinion or the criticism about it. You have your own opinion. You can criticize whatever you want. That's your opinion. But to get there and joke around like two big kids about it was I thought was hilarious. Now, Torp said, I don't know why. Well, Torp said this. Reese knows what he's doing. He does a damn good interview. He knows how to control that and everything else. He knows how to do that. He said Reese was doing him. Brian was doing something, and Eli, didn't know what they were talking about and going on. We had a few communication breakdowns. I know Brian had some muffling at the end. My phone was going back and forth with trying to go to Bluetooth or not, and I did not all the way shut the Bluetooth down. I do apologize for that. But all in all the information from these 24 titles and points that I did go through, I thought it went very, very well. Now, Torp, you said why Why did he even have those two up there? Meaning that you don't know why. I explain why Brian. Okay, I explain why Brian, and I explain why Eli. All right, I explain why Eli. All right. Let me see. Let me see. What was that right there? Let me see. Let me go to live chat right there. Super chat in the house. Because of that fake life coach, I lost everything: my husband, my home, my children, my job, my everything. We're going to get into Eli, but we're also going to get into the reaction of the actual live itself. Okay. Which is another reason. Boom. Right here. I also got to get into Dad Dash. I'm going to push pause on Torp and Jeff, and I'm going to get to Dad Dash. Dad Dash was trying to spam the chat in there and do all this other stuff. Let's get on Dad Dash right now. Saying that I'm not a business person. I don't respect the people and what's going on. Well, Dad Dash, from these 24 points and things that I had going on here, okay, from the 24 points that I have on here, these stickers and chats, these questions had nothing to do with these 24. I have also said, and I have told people, if the questions and things are just ridiculous, I'm not going to go ahead and read those. Now, how I acknowledge those is acknowledging those on the reaction video the very next day. I'm going to acknowledge these and I'm going to read why they did not go into the interview because it's trying to make my interview go left. I have control over what's going on. Okay. Now, let me hop into Torp really quick on this one. Torp said, I saw this many people in there, and how many people were from the gig world? Well, from you and Jeff, because he was streaming it, and Glitch Dash and Steven and Bobby and Yup and Flex was trying to, but he was actually watching it and streaming it on his own. And WG Agency and Cruising Dasher, and there was a whole lot. There was a whole lot. Then there's a whole lot that were watching Torp that are in my area here that watch when I go live. They don't communicate in the chat, but they are part of the ones watching Torp. So you got those people too. Then of course Pedro was watching. Hannibal was watching. Rideshare Rodeo was watching. They're not participating. I can keep going on to let you know who was actually watching, Torp. Now, the other people who I mentioned that you don't know that they're watching. You said, oh, yeah, all those were trolls in there and all this and that, and you only named a few. I just named a few more because you forgot some. Now, the video is just about at 500 views right now, which means for the people of the 56 people that were there, and I just broke down more people that you did not know, that dwindles down your numbers all the way down. So let's just say 475 people were not trolls. That goes into the 500. Now let me readdress you and ask you this: if 475 people watch, why are you worried about the trolls in the comment section also? Therefore, people, on the reaction of this live that we did interview yesterday, I told Eli on camera. Eli left a few times off camera to go look at the comments. Eli himself could not stay away from the comments, that he actually jumped in the comments himself while being up there on the interview. During the interview, I told Eli, I said, Eli, stop worrying about the comments and focus on the interview. That's what I told Eli. Other people that were watching that were asking questions, like when I asked him what would he do if he was switched with Brian and raising the money because he is a life coach, how I broke that down, people were paying attention to that. But just like how you guys say all Eli does is pay attention to the comments, you guys missed all this because all you were doing was paying attention to the comments. This is a live reaction. This comment came from someone named I'm Sorry. Hey, Robert, give Eli the boot. He brings no value, nothing but drama. All right. If you watch the boardroom episode of Eli, you see that I said Eli says he is not a drama channel, but the drama seems to find him. If you watch the boardroom, I broke that down. He brings no value. I've said that when going further deeper with the gig world, I feel that, which is why this interview is here. So if you were paying attention, you would understand that I was answering your question by asking part of these 24 questions here. I was asking questions that they both had to answer. And if you want to be able to get what the person knows, the information that they have, you ask them the questions. I was someone that was able to ask the questions. And certain questions Eli was not able to answer because he has not been in to go past on what I said where his limits are. So I'm sorry, that's what you said. I didn't have to give him the boot. I answered your questions by asking him part of these 24 questions here. So I gave you 24 different bullet points that really answered. And I thank you for that 9.99 super chat, because for 9.99, I was able to give you 24 separate bullet points for you to have and answered that question for you. But this had nothing to do with the interview I was conducting, people, which is why I don't let the chats control me. This is the show. This is how it's going on. Also, from I'm sorry, 4.99. Eli needs to use tweezers when he goes up live. All right. Why would I even bring that up and mess up my own interview? That's why it was not brought up, Dad Dash. I'm like, are you stupid, Dad Dash? You have no control, and you keep getting and talking and spamming chats, Dad Dash. Stop. Just stop it. Allison said, "How come you always say something horrible, um, and then you say no disrespect?" That was one that went in for Eli. I've asked him that myself. Joyce Ali, maybe you are not the problem. If it's happening to you and everybody else sees it, that came from Joyce Ali. And then we got a sticker in there from Glitch Dash that was just showing support, and that's what he does. But as you see, these four questions here had nothing to do with my overall agenda and game plan for my interview. That should answer that for you, Dad Dash, thoroughly. You didn't have to spam the chats and be doing all that. If you really want to talk about something, Dad Dash, let's talk about it. My interview with Jeff Thomas Black, the first one that I got up there, and we had an official interview. Shortly after that, YouTube sends me something. They say that I got 48 hours. If I want to take it down, there's some type of private matter or privacy thing that went on in that interview. So I took it and I put it private. I let it sit there for a few weeks. I unprivated it just the other day, and YouTube sends it again. Now, Dad Dash, you need to come clean, Dad Dash. Why are you flagging my interview that I did with Jeff Thomas Black? This is the only interview I have ever had that gets flagged. Nothing's happened yet. They said they're going to review to see what it is. So there is something that Jeff Thomas Black said about you that we don't know, but you really know, and it hurts you really bad, Dad Dash. That you were trying to flag my interview because he said something about you that is so true that you don't want it out there. Now, I ain't got to spam your chat, Dad Dash, to come at you like this. This is a live reaction to the live interview I conducted yesterday. And this is what you did during the live interview, which makes this live reaction all the way factual. Now let me give you guys the insights. He's not going to tell you that he's doing that to my video. I left it up. I ain't even took it down this time. It's still up there. Jeff Thomas Black interview is still there. Whoever wants to go watch that interview, go watch that full interview and see if you can pick out what the hell Dad Dash is talking about before YouTube takes it down. Or if there's nothing there, it's up there, and we can ask Dad Dash what exactly is it that he gave up that's so private about you. If they say it's okay, can we ask you that question? Matter of fact, Dad Dash, I would like to ask you that. I have a live link up there, but it's only for Dad Dash if he wants to. Don't you ever come in my chats and spam him and disrespecting me looking like the failed version of Superman. Your driver Mike is killing you on that one. He looks like the real Clark Kent. That's called control over your channel, over your chat, and everything else, Dad Dash. I explained everything, broke it down, got you all listening, and because of your input, I got to give some input back. And you're flagging my interview with Jeff Thomas Black, and I don't know what the privacy matter is that he said, but I'm gonna go watch it over and over and over again to figure it out. And I think everybody else should do that also. He left the clue, or maybe Jeff Thomas Black hit you with one. Now, the concept of my interview was to be able to, more importantly, show how fast I can come up with the show and work with the stipulations or the requests that one of the guests has. I completely honored all of their requests, went forward and did it. I showed people how I can go ahead and do a live show and put a show together just like that. The reason why Jeff Thomas Black did not go on, well, it was Eli, and then Eli wanted some assistance, so he had someone that I want to do something with. It wouldn't have been right. I would have had to do a completely different show. More importantly, that Dad Dash thing was looming over, and I didn't want to have Jeff Thomas Black up there and then Dad Dash try to go ahead and flag the interview with these two, all because he's butthurt about Jeff Thomas Black. So that's another reason why I did not fully extend to have him on there. And I wanted to be able to get through all 24 of these without it being sidetracked. And I was not going into Pedro. I was not going into Dad Dash. I was not doing none of that. And I didn't want to do that either. I also wanted to prove my point to the world on the limitations that Eli has when it comes to the gig world. I asked some pretty specific questions. I asked, how are we going to fix, the how is DoorDash? Are we going to fix, the drivers, the dollars an hour? What's the all the way worst case scenario? Broke down what is all the way acceptable pay around all. What should the tipping be for all the drivers? We went into everything that you can think of. We went into everything you can think of. And Brian did a magnificent job on answering, but there were some times when Brian said, hey, Eli, you go first, because Brian was going first the whole time. And then when these questions were there, Eli would say, that's a great question, or that's a loaded question. Yes, I throw loaded questions in so that you have to pay attention to the question, understand how to break it down with your answer so everybody else can get quality information out of you. Now, it came down to certain points where Eli really didn't know what to say about these certain topics. Now, my one of my focuses was that I can actually prove to you guys that it's not hate. I just think that we need to understand that there are limitations to the gig drivers out there who are trying to help the community. Everybody is not someone that can be in the role of speaking and giving the information. Maybe someone is good by giving support, thumbs up, going in the comments sections every now and then, going into the live, saying a few things, but not taking the stick and running all the way forward. That was one of the main reasons I was asking those questions. And as you see from Brian, on even how I asked them, you guys are broken down. And from Brian, you are a conspiracy theorist. And also how they say that Eli just piggybacks and they see him as a poser. How do you guys feel about that jumping in? Brian went all the way into the conspiracy theory and its conspiracy facts because he broke it down fully in detail. When it came to Eli, Eli was speaking about some other things. He had a couple things in there that made some sense on how they do the shaming or they join together and things like that. But all in all, it was all about, how do you feel as them saying that you're piggybacking and calling you a poser? Meaning that, I asked him that question so that we can get a little bit more clarity on Eli, on what's he trying to bring to the table. When Brian answered the question, he says, now this brings me back to my credibility and my respect. Right here under my second and third bullet point here, respect and credibility. I have those there. Brian went from his part and going in and answering those without me even saying it. Okay. So I was showing you guys the difference between a dasher, a dasher, Someone giving information, someone giving information. Also, the main agenda was there's a lot of you people that get up and come into everyone's chats and lives, and you guys are throwing questions out there, and these guys don't even get a chance to answer, or you come up with your own answer, or you guys, when you say a question, you guys all join up and no one really gets the answer. Well, by me doing this interview, I was able to get all these questions out, the questions that people really want to hear from Eli. And I went over every single one, that at the same time, this was not a shaming. This was not any of this and that. These were questions going to anyone that says they are a delivery driver, gig, content creator who says they are here trying to help. We went over what the problems are. We went over everything. This was an interview. Now, Torp, you say, well, why were they up there? Well, let me ask you, Torp, why did I interview you? Now, don't I get the right to interview whoever the hell I want to interview? Don't I get the right to interview the people I want to? And I have a reason why I can and why I should. Now, me going over giving this review, I bet you're going back and be like, dang, Reese actually went over everything up on this thing. We had no idea what he was going to be talking about or anything. I have the opportunity and the ability to ask anyone if they would like for me to conduct an interview with them. Okay, I have a couple more lined up. I like doing it. I interview people that you guys don't know about. I interview content creators that you guys have never known about because you're stuck in your little worlds. Am I not supposed to interview these content creators that you don't know because you don't know their following, their base, their subs, or anything? Am I not supposed to interview them? What makes your interview more important or better than anybody else's? Well, to answer that question, I'll do it myself. That's why I created and threw every single interview onto a podcast, so people can just sit back and listen to all the interviews and see, without looking at someone's face. You get to actually listen to the people, hear their words, listen to all the questions, how they're tied in, and go ahead and do it. Each person is unique and different in their own right. Each person I have to conduct an interview with, uh, I have to go ahead and cater to each person differently. I have to cater to Eli much different than Brian during the same interview. Have to showcase a little bit of skill and some control. And check this out. There was over 2,000 something chat messages, right? How many of those did you guys see the host go into and dive into and have him lose focus on the overall plan? Nothing. So, Torp, when you guys said all the action was actually in the comment section, no, there was some action with DoorDash, with Glitch Dash, and Dad Dash. There was some action there. I guess you guys got to see a little war words, but there were people that were commenting on these 24 questions and bullet points that you guys missed. Now you guys got to go back and watch it again because this reaction video is letting you know that you were not paying attention at all. Hey, I'm not gonna lie, yeah, holding back laughter, man. Yeah, that fluffer nutter stuff threw me. That threw me. I'm sorry. I broke character. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. I am sorry about that. I am sorry about that. Now, Torp and Jeff Thomas Black, the laughter, the joking around, you guys said that it was like the worst interview you ever seen, and you guys were, even if one said it, one joked around and was laughing. When one said something, the other one joked around and laughed. So together you tie the knot. So both of you guys were jumping around and laughing and joining in your own reindeer games. I thought there was something between Jeff and Torp. All this stuff is going on. I don't know who's playing who or what's what. I'm glad I'm the news channel so I can actually follow and cover all of it and then give my breakdown on how it unfolds. I'm glad I get a first row seat to go ahead and do it. You guys went up there and did all that joking around. I thought I was cool. I thought I was cool with you, Jeff. And then the craziest thing was Coincidentally, I was actually like, we were ripping and running this morning. You asked me to go up there. I would have went up there not knowing what you guys did on that live after my live was done, and I would have looked like boohoo the fool. What's up, RJ? And I thought that was kind of cold. I thought that was kind of cold because during the interview, you watched it, you jumped in a couple times, but you allowed it to play, and the questions that were coming in are legitimate, full questions. Brian said one of them, he said, that's a hard one. Yeah, people, you ain't coming up here to try to have an idea on what's going on if we ain't gonna get to the bottom line of everything. That's why I'm trying to get 500 votes on that community post poll. You know, who's the best interviewer in the gig world? Pedro DoorDash Santiago, Hot Facts with Robert Reese, Steve Rideshare Rodeo, GigTube, or Real Talk with Roy. Let's get that to 500 votes. There's a reason why there's so many people that don't want to do interviews with me. I'm going to ask you some questions. I don't care what anyone thinks. Give a thumbs up if you respect Hot Facts on that one. We got more content creators doing interviews with people. I'm pretty sure from my very first interview I did, they probably thought it wasn't going to be anything. He's going to stop. Then the Tanner Markleys came, and his interview was great. Stunt man, all this stuff. He invited me to go to the Razor Scooter Park and everything, and he was doing his thing, and he broke down some business. We spoke about business and things like that behind the scenes. Tanner Markley did that. Watch his interview with Hot Facts, and then people, it just keeps going on and on and on and on and on to where the interviews are uh, actually allowing other gig content creators see. In order for them to express themselves, if they conduct an interview, you can put more of yourself out there. Az Prod, I will give you thumbs up solely for being a place of free speech. Yes, this is a place of free speech. My moderators know exactly what they should not allow up. Oh no, Tanner Markley's cool. Tanner Markley's cool. He's doing his thing. He has contracts with some of the largest amusement parks in the United States. He also struck another big deal. He's doing his thing. He's doing his stunt things. He only dashes when like he's trying to there's something on the business end to where he needs something in now. That's what he does. Yeah, yeah. Free speech. My moderators know exactly what to do. They know what words. It's not even words. I'm not crazy on all that. It's not words. Um, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm a great interviewer. Thank you so kindly right there. Um, I am sorry. Put that one up there. Whoever you are, man. I don't even know, man. I don't even know. I don't even know. This whole thing is crazy. But this is a live reaction to that video I did yesterday. And by the way, um, Jeff Thomas Black, you guys were going off on John Billings. I know there's an issue with Glitch Dash and John Billings because John Billings doesn't understand that it's not like the Glitch Dash like culture or you know it's not a glitch dash like it's not a glitch gate, sorry, it's not a glitch gate culture or whatever else it is. Billings, they're laughing at you because of that, because when you say those things it's like you don't know fully what you're talking about, and it may seem that you're just joining in the bandwagon of other people out there, and you did a video to try to make a video on it to try to get views because of it. So they're gonna talk about that. I get that. I get that whole point. Um, I did a boardroom on you. Your channel is doing great. You're getting the views, you're getting the subs, you're doing what you got to do. I don't think you need to join in these reindeer games. It might do a little more damage than what you think. Me personally, I have nothing against you. To each his own. To anyone out there that wants to go ahead and do their own thing, go ahead and do your own thing. I have nothing but respect for you. You didn't say anything bad about me. You really didn't say anything bad about the whole culture. What you were saying, and you stated that the things you were stating, you really don't know too much in detail. So you're gonna have to go ahead and check that out yourself. The glitch has been patched. How will it affect driver strategy regards being a top dasher? Will you guys try to be top dasher for the next month? I think you did a great job, Reese. Thank you, Dreaded Driver. Well, my wife stays, top dasher. She stays top dasher. Now, there's a lot of the times that the glitch is being used that they are letting you don't know you're using it and you benefited from it. Whether they fix they fix the freelance of it on how often someone can use that thing. That's what they got to do. That's what they got to do right there. Um, okay, thank you for keeping your live chat free speech for everyone. Yeah, but you got to understand. Um, you got to understand that just because super chats and stuff are going up for things that don't make no sense, it's not gonna interfere with what I got going on. Wait till after to make your comments, but I will address them on a live reaction video. Let me see. Thank you for being a firm believer in free speech. Free speech is something that we have. We are not going to be. There are limitations here on this channel. Um, you're not going to just be openly using homophobic slurs. You're not going to be getting up here like, let's say, and like how Eli gets up there with his with Don. When I'm up here with my wife and my wife is here and you guys know she's here with me or you see her in the chats, there is no way in the world saying all these weird things, like the most rudest comments of all time. You're out of here. Never gonna happen. It's never gonna happen. That is in full effect. In full effect. I know someone question. I think they questioned my wife yesterday or asked her why. Because they see that she has a wrench. And well, everybody, she's a managing moderator also. And on top of that, when you look at my chats, you see that, from all the chats, there's only a certain few wrenches out there. And everyone does not have a wrench because if everybody had a wrench, then there would be no control, period. The control that is there, she knows when to hop in and shut something down. I forgot who asked her how come she didn't shut or how come she didn't block certain comments. I left the comments on fast so they were not just sitting there and lingering. So if you want to go ahead and check a comment out, go ahead and scroll back up and do all of that, but it wasn't going to be put on slow mode so you see a comment and it sits there so everyone can screenshot the comment and then go make all these memes and things over it. No, you got to have a little bit more control over your channel when you're doing a live stream, and one of the best ways is to leave that chat on full blast and let it go up how it goes. It had over 2,000 something messages in the live stream yesterday, so it was very busy. The only time she's gonna go ahead and jump in to remove something is when she feels it is completely disrespectful. If it offends her, she's taking it off because it offended her. She's a managing moderator. The other moderators already know. Most of the other moderators are people that they walk on the edge a little bit, so they know exactly what is going to be overboard because they walk on the edge. And if they ever go ahead and hide something or take something back, then that is what it is. But at no point, at no point should people in the chat be trying to control someone's chat channel and say don't let that go, and oh, why are you letting that go and all that stuff. It has nothing to do with any of that. um you know what I mean? So I really don't know what's going on with Jeff Thomas Black. I have no idea there what's going on with him. And they what him and Torp did, the joking and stuff. It's like I said, I have no problem with your opinion. Like if you're doing a reaction, like if he would have got done, I would have respected more instead of having Torp get up there and leading it off. I would have respected more if Jeff Thomas Black would have said, well, it was a pretty good interview. There were some communication issues on both sides there. You know, there were some things I didn't agree with. Go over what those things are. Go about them in that matter right there. Execute those points. Bring those up, and you go about it just like that. Torp leading in and doing all this stuff, and you guys are doing the joking and the all the other stuff. That's when it was like, are you guys serious here? And you guys agreed on pretty much everything. It was not a disaster. It was not, because as you guys are seeing, it was in full control. It was not a disaster. It was a success. It was a success. Okay. There were many questions that were asked, and they were all answered. Okay. They were all answered. We went over them being blackballed, future plans of the gig world, conspiracy theories. People, can your image be saved? Do you care about how they accept you? Do the ratings matter? Tips, DoorDash, pay, worst calls, what needs to be done on all sides? How can you help? What are you going to do? All this stuff, from the hours, the dollars, to the drivers. How are we going to fix it, to everything? I think it turned out to be a success. And uh constructive criticism would have been going over like the communication issues that happened there. And you know if there were some questions that should have been changed up a little bit, to have Eli better equipped to answer those. But if that was one, and if anybody out there had that as something that they thought, I'm not gonna dumb down the questions because somebody out there thinks that this person is not capable enough to respond or answer the question. Once you ask the question, you are able to see what the response is going to be, and you just go from there. No question is stupid. No answer is stupid. What we do go ahead and see, when you're doing these interviews, it's a whole lot different from just getting up on a panel and speaking. And to Torp, this goes to you. You said, what was that? What were they doing? Well, it says interview in the title. Duh. It says interview. I interviewed two people at one time. I've seen that done when like one interviewer is interviewing a whole music group. They're interviewing four people. They're interviewing 10 people at once. Three people might have the mic. They're interviewing a bunch of people. But it says interview on the actual thumbnail. It says interview uh, in the actual title. So that's what it was, Torp. You said, what is this? And uh I think you guys should have went at it that way there, but to each his own. You find out a little bit about people. I've never went at Jeff Thomas Black and laughed and giggled and played Ring Around the Rosie with someone on camera to bash someone else. Whenever someone is bashing somebody else, I simply say when it's, I'm not joining them games, but if it comes my way, I ain't got nothing wrong with the dude. That's you guys. Or I'll just leave. Or I'll just leave. I most certainly am not just gonna, join in all of the little games. And I think that's something that a lot of them have figured out. Even though, from Eli saying, we got Jeff Thomas Black, and he'll name everybody from the Uber Jeep AZs to the Glitch Dash to the Brian, the DoorDash, Gig Economy Police, Gig X Exposed, DoorDash sucks. He'll say even Brian, they used to say, and even Hot Facts and Robert Reese, I guess people thought that because you agree on certain things, like you come together in mode like Voltron, just like that. That has never been what it is. I agree with people on the facts and principles that I agree with them on. If it's something that I am not in with, I don't even respond to it or even get involved in any of that. I don't do that at all. All right. I don't do that at all. And people start seeing that, dang, is Hot Facts with us or is he against us or this or that? There is no is Hot Facts with you or against you. I'm a news channel. I have individual corresponding relationships with many of you. And Jeff Thomas Black, I never asked for John Billings to be a correspondent of Hot Facts. I conducted an interview with him. Nowhere did I even ask him. There's no video, there's no comments, there's nothing with me asking him, hey, John Billings, would you like to be a correspondent for Hot Facts with Robert Reese? That has never came out of my mouth. That has never happened anytime whatsoever. So never a correspondent. Never. I don't know where that came from. And people, just because I conduct interviews because that's one of my specialties. That's part of what I do. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have interviews with many, 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 many different people. That's my job. I am going to do that. Some of you guys, like the gentleman Yup, who goes on the lounge, said Reese said he's looking for a racist driver. Yes, I would like to conduct a interview with someone that is openly racist and does delivery work. People are like, he really wants to. Yes, that is something that I have a huge interest in. I don't care who I interview. I want to conduct the best interviews and give you guys what you need to be listening to. I want to be able to ask the questions that you guys ask, but nobody really pays attention to. I want to be able to do that nonstop. And I don't care if a lot of you guys don't like who I interview. It's none of your business anyway. It's my interview. Why are you worried about who I'm interviewing? If you're not interviewing them, then it shouldn't matter in the first place. This is like these DoorDash drivers who try to get in everybody's business. Oh, well, you accept this order. You're trash. You're a clown. It's none of your business on how I do my thing. It's none of your business. I'm doing my thing. Who are you to tell me that I can't do it the way I want to? Who are you to tell me that? Some people have done this. And I think it was on the lounge, and my wife told me. It was on the lounge, I do believe, or neck rolls. It was one of the two. Not far off. They were even trying to accuse her, or and like they say things subtle. I bet Reese and them are using the glitch, or they've used the glitch, all this other stuff. And when I read off her numbers and she's in all the way green on everything, just because you're in the green, that does not mean that you are using the glitch. That means that you are taking advantage of everything. She knows that if she goes and picks up an order and it's a $5 order, chances are they're going to double her up. That's two orders instead of one. That gets you closer to raising your percentage up faster than what anybody else out there is getting. So if she does like seven stacked orders, that's actually 14 deliveries, which helps your ratings go up faster. There's no glitch involved with that. It's understanding your market. But because people understand that, who are you guys to say you can't do what you want to do? Don't worry about my interviews, man. Don't worry about my interviews. Just watch them the way you do. Because obviously that there's going to be some really good questions coming out of them. And you're going to learn something about someone that you never knew because you never thought of even asking the question. So just watch the interviews and take them in. Because like Torp said, man, there was like maybe there could have been like 25 people there that might have been trolls, but 500 people watched it already. So 475 people are people that are watching it. 475 people are watching it. Those 25 people are not going in to each account and watching the live all the way through. So don't say things like that. Don't let it come out of your mouth because it doesn't make sense. And those other two deserve to be up there. You know why? Because I wanted to conduct the interview. And I shed light on the gig world. Everyone said Eli has no value. What does he really know about the gig world? He never answers our questions or anything. A lot of people say that, right? Hot Facts was able to go over 24 of them, different topics. So I should have answered a lot of questions for a lot of you guys. Whether you love the answers, you like the answers, if you really realize that he really didn't know what he was talking about, if you guys came to the conclusion that DoorDash sucks is really a conspiracy theorist, or if you feel that it's the opposite, it's conspiracy facts, it's the opposite. I was feeling what Eli was saying. It don't matter what it is, but chances are you heard what it is and not what it was because I was the one asking those questions. A lot of you guys don't have that type of patience and understand how to work with people on an interpersonal level to adapt and handle a multi-assignment at the same time and keep it respectful and professional. I even coached Eli through a little bit by helping him stay focused on the interview and not the chats. He broke focus and he dove all the way into the chats. He was in the chat set section because he couldn't stay away. He left screen a little bit to go do it also. Eli, you're on StreamYard. You know that you don't have to have the comments showing. You can just be there on video. You know that. You did a pretty good job, though. You left a few times. You took a peek. It messed up the questions a little bit because we have to wait for you to come on back. I had to throw a filler in. But you did all right. You did all right, Eli. I thought you might have had a nervous breakdown because of how many comments were going on. Nope. Answer questions. And I want to give you credit on this. If Eli would have turned the interview down, which is what was pretty much happening until I wrote him on his live, you guys would have said that Eli is running from hot facts. He's scary. We told you he has no value. But check this out. While being asked on his own show, Brian was up there. He said, I'll do it if Brian can be up there. He realized that he can't do it alone by himself. And he called on someone that he says is someone that he can rely on. He did that. Brian got on there, and Eli was actually able to do the whole interview without telling me to block or ban someone or this and that. He did it once, and that's when I told him that Eli focus on the interview and not the comments. He did it once, and I corrected him. Don't focus on the comments there. Don't focus on those. We ain't ready for that. We're gonna get this interview through. We got it all the way through with minimal impedances. Okay? With minimal impedances. We have to go around those. and orchestrate and get around, and we got through it. So I want to give him credit for knowing that he needed someone up there in order to help him. Now, like in other terms, someone before they go on stage to sing, someone will hold their hand and walk them up there and say, just go do it. He was able to have that stability and he got it through. So I give him credit for understanding who he is, and he went up there. Now, there were some things that went on when I asked him about being a life coach, certain situations there. What would you do? I'm gonna give you guys something that you guys probably never thought about. While him being afraid to come on up by himself, he does a live show and he controls everything. He doesn't want the comments to go on his own things. Is because when it comes to being in front of a lot of people, as you see, there is a fright there. He has that. So if someone is watching and he says he's a life coach, I would all the way use this example of getting on there with hot facts as, I have a fear of being in front of a lot of people who can openly speak about whatever they want because it's a free world. He has anxiety about that. But he was actually able to get someone up there to go up there with him, and he actually made it all the way through. Now, if someone was being a life coach, that would be one of the stories that I give to people out there to show them that you can overcome just a little bit of it, just a little bit of everything. All you gotta do is overcome. People, you never know who I'm gonna use for the positive message. That's one right there. Thank you for watching this live reaction to the live interview yesterday. We out of here like Chuck Woolery in 2 and 2. Peace out.